Here's a collection of actual crimes committed by really dumb criminals. Just sit back and enjoy the insanity as we present. Stupid crime stories you just won't believe. In 2011, a Pennsylvania man walked into a convenience store, picked up a bottle of water and punched the store clerk in the face before leaving. Apparently that was his way of saying "I'm not paying for this." A few days later, the same man decided to carjack a vehicle. He then spotted a Chevrolet Impala parked outside a convenience store. There was a man sitting inside and the car was still running. The thief opened the door and climbed into the passenger seat. He then informed the man that he was stealing his car and ordered him to get out. The man looked at the thief in disbelief, then simply burst out laughing. He then got out of the vehicle, pulled out a gun and told the thief to get out. The man with the gun was an undercover Pittsburgh police detective. He then informed the dumb carjacker that he was under arrest. 3 more police cars were immediately on the scene. Feeling defeated, the thief came up with another plan. He told the officer he was an actor in the new Batman movie and taking the vehicle was part of the script. Mind you, there wasn't a camera or film crew in sight. Coincidentally, The Dark Knight Rises was filming nearby. The officer did not fall for this ridiculous claim and the man was taken into custody. But there is another twist to this story. The detective was working undercover looking for a man who had stolen a bottle of water and punched a clerk in the face. After further investigation, it was discovered that the carjacker fit the description of the assault suspect he was looking for. Police said that the thief, now identified as 21-year-old Micah Kalamoska, will be charged in connection with that incident as well. He was charged with robbery of a motor vehicle and was placed in the Allegheny County Jail on $5,000 bond. He was also awaiting a mental evaluation. In 2017, a 26-year-old man tried to break into a bar in Queens, New York. He climbed up to the roof of Winner's Bar, broke open the cap to an exhaust vent and slid his way inside. However, it was not as easy as it looked. He wound up getting stuck inside the air vent shaft. Since it was early in the morning, he was trapped for several hours. Eventually, a woman who lived near the bar heard the man yelling for help. When she looked out her window, she could see a hand sticking out of the vent. She then called 911. Police and firefighters showed up to the bar around 11:30 a.m. and found Jorge Romero waving helplessly at them from inside the shaft. Firefighters had to cut Romero out of the vent in order to free him. He was then taken into custody. Police then tweeted the following about Romero's failed attempt. "Bad choice. A male was arrested this morning after getting stuck in a vent shaft of a bar overnight while trying to commit a burglary." As expected, viewers found the tweet quite amusing. Romero was charged with burglary, trespassing and criminal mischief. In 2008, 37-year-old Tony Van of San Francisco was facing charges for stealing a Porsche Carrera worth $125,000. He was on his way to the Marin County Court to hear his verdict. He parked the Lexus SUV he was driving and went inside the courthouse. In the vehicle he had left several puppies waiting in the hot sun. The dogs were a Yorkshire Terrier Maltese mix and thus small enough to escape through a half-open window. County employees picked up the loose puppies and ran a license plate check on the Lexus. They discovered that the vehicle had been stolen in San Francisco. Around that time, the man ran back to the SUV holding the keys and expressing concern for the dogs. Deputies arrested him on the spot. They also found out that the dogs were not his and they didn't belong to the owner of the stolen Lexus. The puppies were taken to a Humane Society shelter. In addition to the stolen puppies and SUV, he also had a laptop computer that had been stolen in a San Francisco auto burglary. To recap, Tony Van was on his way to court to face charges for stealing a car. He steals another car to drive to the court hearing. He also had in his possession a stolen laptop and stolen puppies. The 37-year-old hairstylist was charged with possessing a stolen car, a stolen computer, and animal cruelty. This was all added to the previous charges and his bail was raised from $10,000 to $250,000. These types of crimes happen more often than you would think. In 2018, auto theft detectives were outside the courthouse in Hartford, Connecticut scanning license plates. When they came across a white Subaru that was reported stolen, they simply waited for the driver to come out. Police wound up arresting 25-year-old Jonathan Rivera. He was already in court facing car theft charges. And wouldn't you know, he drove to the courthouse in another stolen car. Rivera was charged with second-degree larceny and taking a vehicle without the owner's permission. There was also a similar case in 2022. Police in California had received a stolen vehicle alert from one of their license plate readers. They located the stolen van in the courthouse parking lot. Officers could see clear signs that the ignition had been tampered with. Surveillance video showed that a female suspect had been driving the van. Police identified 41-year-old Brandy Jones as the culprit. She had driven herself to court to face charges for a previous stolen vehicle case. When officers searched the van, they found methamphetamine and 2 glass pipes. Jones was taken to Santa Rita Jail and her bail was set at $57,500. After her arrest, police tweeted this piece of advice to any other car thieves out there. When making a court appearance after being arrested for stealing a car, don't show up in another stolen car. In 2020, 2 Mississippi men were tired of always buying lottery tickets and never winning. They then came up with what they thought was a great idea. They simply doctored a scratch-off lottery ticket to make it appear they had won $100,000. They then took it to lottery headquarters in Flowood, Mississippi to redeem their fake ticket. What they didn't realize is that lottery officials were very familiar with the scheme. They call it cut and paste, and it is quite a common practice. A lottery spokesperson said they have measures in place to ensure a ticket is legitimate, including using barcodes. Officials immediately determined the ticket had been altered. They said the men used super glue to attach winning numbers to a losing ticket. You can clearly see where the edges don't line up. Even though the fake ticket was obvious, officials still scanned the front and back just to confirm their suspicion. They said the only thing that made it a winning ticket was that the men had cut some numbers off a second ticket and glued them to this one. Flowood police then arrested 47-year-old Otis Latham and 48-year-old Russell Sparks. The 2 men were charged with conspiracy to commit a felony and uttering a counterfeit instrument over $1,000. Latham was further charged with false ID information. Both men pleaded not guilty. Attempting to fake a lottery ticket is a very serious crime, punishable by up to 20 years in prison and a $50,000 fine. Technology has caused us to believe that many things that were once quite simple must now be complicated. Take away the technology and we are sometimes lost. And that leads us into our next story. In 2009, a woman in Kissimmee, Florida called 911 because she had car problems. It's the kind of situation people usually joke about because you never expect it to happen in real life.
What's the emergency?
Hi, I'm at the corner of Pleasant Hill and John Young Parkway. I'm in a Walgreens parking lot, and my car will not start. I'm locked inside my car. I cannot open my car. I can't get the windows down. Nothing electrical works. And it's getting very hot in here, and I'm not feeling well. I need some help.
Just, are you able to pull the lock up on the door and open the door? You should be able to just pull the lock up even if it's electrical.
I've tried it. Oh, okay. All right, I got that going. Okay.
So are you able to get out of the car now?
Yes, I got the door open.
Okay.
All righty, I'll see if I can get AAA or something.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All righty, bye-bye.
Yes, this woman really locked herself in her own car and didn't know how to get out. This is when you know you've relied so much on technology that you don't know what to do when it fails. Granted, we don't have to be a MacGyver, but having a few survival skills up your sleeve wouldn't hurt. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Our weekly videos will feature such topics as stupid crime stories, classic TV, and the real stories behind popular songs from the past and present. There will be even more categories as we continue to grow.